Let's get to know our world. What does Genghis Khan's name mean? Mongolian Emperor Genghis Khan was born in 1162 in Mongolia. His father Yasuge named his son Timucin, blacksmith, who was the head of the Tatar tribe, who was defeated before Timucin's birth. His childhood name, Timucin, comes from the word Chengzi, which means the perfect warrior in Chinese. He was born with blood glands in his hand. According to the legend, Genghis Khan was born in the form of a fist with one hand, and when his palm was opened, it was seen that the inside of it was filled with blood clots. His father Yasugi Bahadur said that when he learned this, his son would be a great warrior and this would cause a lot of bloodshed on earth. His father Yasugi Bahadur was the leader of the Kiat Tatar tribe, which gained great fame and power in Mongolia in the 12th and 13th centuries. Her mother is Hulan Ece, who is the same height. She was a devoted woman who tried to raise Timucin and her other children according to old Turkish traditions. Yasugi Bahadur died when his son Timucin, whom he said would be a great warrior, was only 13 years old. The unity of the people under his rule disintegrated. Ulan Hatun Ece and her children became desolate and in need of help. Growing up in these difficult living conditions, Timucin had become a tall, strong and arrogant young man. He could stay on horseback all day and use his arrows skillfully. Timucin and his brothers decided to gather the nation of their fathers in their circle and bring together all the righteous. In this age, Mongolia, which was divided into many feudalities, had two powerful khans, Karayat Khan Tughril and Nayman Han Bayrak. There was a third lineage called Merkitlar, the oldest enemy of Yasugi Bahadur lineage. Fearing that Yasugi's sons would become stronger, the Merkits raided the headquarters of Timucin and his brothers one night. They kidnapped Timucin's mother and wife. Timucin, whose entire property was plundered, barely saved his life and took refuge in Haldun Mountain. Karayat Khan, friend of his father Yasugi Bahadur, asked for help to resist the Merkite and save his family. Tughril Khan sent a large army under the command of Timucin. Timucin thus managed to save his family from Merkits. With Timucin strengthening, uprisings began in other tribes. When his friend Tughril Khan died during the war, he joined Timucin's subjects throughout Karayat. Gathering many principalities under his own protection, Timucin had to capture his strongest enemy, Nayman Khanate, in order to become the sole ruler of Mongolia. The tough war that started in 1204 lasted a year. Timucin also won this war and his power was accepted. The Great Congress that gathered on the banks of the Onon River in 1206 was declared an inn under the name Sengiz. 9 banners were erected according to tradition at this ceremony. Genghis Khan fought with the various tribes of Mongolia until he was 50 years old, and although he was occasionally defeated, he never gave up on failure. However, Genghis Khan's real great success began after these years. Genghis Khan first fought with the Chinese state. After prolonged bloody fighting, he besieged Beijing in 1211, signed an agreement with the Chinese ruler, and married a Chinese princess. This was her second marriage. However, the war resumed a few months later and lasted until 1215 until Beijing was conquered. On this date, the Chinese ruler accepted Genghis Khan's final sovereignty and agreed to pay tribute. The most powerful Islamic state in the West was the Khwarezmshahs. Their ruler, Sultan Mahmud, recently defeated the Karahitai state and was preparing to attack China. After the success of Sengiz, he panicked and sent an ambassadorial delegation headed by Saeed Bahidin Razi. Sengiz Khan sent the delegation headed by Mahmut Yalavak to Khwarezm in response to this action because he thought that friendship and trade with the Khwarezmshahs would be beneficial. Thus, friendship started between Mongols and Khwarezmshahs and a trade agreement was signed. Upon this agreement, the Mongolian trade caravan of 450 people set out in 1218 to bring the most expensive goods of that age to Islamic countries. However, the governor of Otrar Khair Hana Nasik stopped this caravan in the city of Otrar in the country of Khwarezm. He looted his property and had all his men killed. The only survivor reported the situation to Genghis Khan. Upon this, Sengiz asked Sultan Mahmud to surrender Khair Khan to him. But the envoys that came to express this request of Sengiz were also killed. This event, which is known as Otrar disaster in history, was the reason for the initiation of Mongolian raids to Islamic countries. Genghis Khan decided to take revenge from the Kharzm state and organized a great expedition. He captured the Karahitai and Nayman principalities on the road. When he came to the city of Otrar, where his caravan was plundered and his men were killed, after fighting for a while with Otrar governor Khair Khan, who resisted with 70,000 soldiers, he left his sons Chagatai and Ogedi there and continued on his way. He named the city where the Zernuk castle, which surrendered on its way, is located, Blessed City. The Islamic region called Mavrahunahir was also captured by Genghis Khan's armies. Genghis Khan, who passed Samarkand behind him, besieged Bukhara. After 3 days and 3 nights of attacks, the army of 50,000 people defending Bukhara handed over the blood-soaked city to Genghis Khan. When he besieged Samarkand, he again slaughtered the people. The center of Kharzm for the sons of Genghis Khan, who also captured Khorasan Ulgink, gave the order to besiege his city. Ulgink was also destroyed at the end of the 6-month siege. His revenge caused Genghis Khan to pass the pages of history as the bloody ruler. All these wars ensured that almost all Islamic states in the east came under Mongol rule. 40 million people killed. It is accepted that Genghis Khan's armies killed 11% of the world population at that time, that is, 40 million people. Genghis Khan returned to Mongolia in 1225. On his return, he divided his empire among his 4 sons. According to rumors, he died in 1227 during the Tangut expedition, getting sick. Still, the cause of death is unknown. The location of his grave is unknown, as the funeral was held like the old Turkish kings. This great warrior was not contented with only military successes, but also made a law regulating the legal and military affairs of the Mongol Empire. This law, known as the Law of Genghis, was the collection of the oral tradition from the ancient Turks to the Mongols in 33 notebooks. Genghis Khan's military skills and strategies enabled him to go down in history as a great commander.